Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another kind of knife review for you. Today I'm going to show you the Screwpop Ron's Utility Knife 3.0. This is another one of these little pocket utility blades. I've already covered the ruck quite a bit. We'll show that in a minute from Giltech. That's kind of really revolutionized my EDC stuff. I really like having a small little utility knife in my pocket. It's just a really great thing to, open boxes. A lot of the stuff that we tell our spouses that we buy our very expensive EDC knives for, but a lot of times a little cheap thing like this will do it fine, and it's nice to have that to keep some wear off of our expensive knives. If you have a $300 knife in your pocket, it's often really nice to have just a little utility knife that has a replaceable blade that you don't have to worry about damaging or putting wear on your expensive knife if you're that kind of guy. I definitely still use my expensive knives, but if I have something like this in my pocket, I might take it out to use it for those kind of tasks that might damage my regular knife. For example, I get a lot of bicycles in, and I'm not always sure if there's staples in the box, so I don't want to be swiping my big expensive blade down through that cardboard and hit a staple and get a nick on a blade. One of these. Couldn't possibly care less, mostly because it is $6.95 on screwpoptool.com. Really, really cool little thing. It's just a very simple design. It's basically just, shaped bent metal. And then you pop this little thing up and it slides back and forth. This is the 3.0 version. This is the newest version. What indicates that 3.0 is, as you just saw, there's a magnet back there. So it will pull the blade and hold it, and it doesn't rattle around, which is really nice. It does rattle a bit when it's out, but you're mostly, when it's deployed, you're going to be using it, so that's not really the end of the world for me at all. And yet, $6.95. They are very cheap, very light, under an ounce, 0.8 ounces. Very, very small, just a hair over 3 inches long. Definitely something you can put on your keychain. And that's where this shall reside. I think I currently have a Spyderco Man Bug on my keychain, and I'm highly considering changing it out for this. You do also get a couple other little tools. You get a nice little bottle opener there. Not that nice of a bottle opener, honestly. It's not the best bottle opener in the world, but it will get the job done when Daddy needs some alcohols. He will, or soda, or whatever else it is that you prefer, that you have to get that from. So yeah, it's cool for that feature also. Let's do some size comparisons, give you an idea about the size of this thing. So first we're going to compare it against probably my favorite pocket of one of these utility tools I've tried before. This is the Giltech Ruck. The advantages of this are the bottle opener is a bit nicer, and it's one hand, where this is kind of one hand, but not really. But as you can see, it's much smaller, thinner, and lighter than the Ruck is. So there's that, and cheaper. I think this is $35. This is, as I said, $7. So yeah, this is a bit cheaper. There's $7 on the website if you go to screwpoptool.com, but by the time you pay shipping and stuff, I bought this off of Amazon for $9.95, but it's Prime, so I got free shipping, so it kind of wound up evening out a little bit. Compared against, here's another small knife I have a review coming up of soon, the Kershaw Pub. Also has a bottle opener. I didn't mean to follow this theme, but that's kind of the way it's going. We'll compare against one more knife, and then I will just some kind of common things that I think you guys are going to have. This is the Victorinox Cadet Alox. Much, much smaller than that. Pretty similar to the closed size of the Alox, but much, much lighter and thinner. Next up, we're going to compare it against your standard just Bic pen. This is just your normal Bic round stick pen. And I know a lot of us have these, and I do have a review of this coming up probably tomorrow. I'm going to try on the weekends now do more EDC stuff, but this is the Pocket Pen. That Pocket Pen open and Pocket Pen closed. Pretty similar overall length to that, but it is just a handy little utility tool. Now, ergonomically, it's not even in the same league as the Ruck. The Ruck is actually really, really good for the size that it is. You have some jimping up here, got a place to rest your thumb. place to rest the butt of your hand against there. And this is actually pretty darn comfortable to use. This isn't as nearly as horrid as I thought it would be, but it's not. There's no thought to ergonomics put in it all. The thought is just to make it compact, light, easy to produce, and inexpensive, and it works very well. As you can see, this has the Screwpop blade that it came with, which seems all right. I've used it a fair little bit, and it seems to be holding its edge. It is a 4-notch, which is nice because you can adjust the blade length a little bit on it. But I will say that most likely, as soon as this wears out, I will be switching it out for a, this is kind of my preferred blade at the moment. It's only a 2-notcher, but the DeWalt carbide ones, they're very inexpensive. They hold an edge really, really, really well. And that's almost certainly what this is going to get switched out for as soon as that wears out. Or maybe as soon as this video is over, to be honest. The blades are so cheap, I don't mind switching them before they wear out. But it can take 2 or 4-notch. I've tried it with the DeWalt one. It works perfectly fine. But this is it's just a neat little tool, especially something just to hang on your keys and forget about. It is a bit long for something on your keys, in my opinion. It depends on your preference of how long you like things on your keys. But weight-wise, yeah, under an ounce, it's great. And it's pretty well finished. The nice little Screwpop logo there. I kind of like their logo. I think they did a good job with it there. That's the magnet that holds the blade from rattling around. That's an improvement that was made on the 3.0 model. Got this nice little brass touch, and it's clearly meant, to go on a keychain, not to have a cat hair on it. Yeah, but it's I really like this. For $6.95, how can you possibly go wrong? It's just a nice little thing, and I'm telling you guys, if you don't have a little pocket utility knife on your keys in your pocket, something like that, and if you're an EDC nerd, man, you gotta have something like this, whether it's something like the Ruck, whether it's this, whether it's one of those ridiculously expensive Rexford Ruts, something. But they're so handy because you can just replace the blade. And again, if you're doing something risky, cutting something that you don't know exactly what's in there, you don't want to mess up, or even if it's something as simple as like cutting something with a whole lot of tape and you don't want to get goo all over your $300 or $400 knife, something like this is a great thing to have. And it's also a great thing to hand friends. When they say, oh, can I borrow your knife? And you don't know if they know what they're doing or not. Something like this is a great thing to hand them. Super easy to use. It's just, so you can do it one-handed. It's just not as slick as the Ruck is. But, yeah, but pretty cool. $6.95. I have no objections whatsoever and would highly recommend the Screwpop. It's a cool little thing just to have around. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Again, I'm going to try and do more of these EDC type things instead of just focusing 100% purely on knives, even though this is technically still a knife. But tomorrow I'm probably going to do the pocket pens, and we'll see how things go from there. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.